Alrighty, this is part two. I went upstairs to make a coffee for myself. To make a cup. To make a cup of coffee for myself. Yeah, hence why whenever I film the movie, the Zayas movie, if I hire Peter Jackson, I'm gonna make sure that you have a long war. Do not rush it. Do not rush the war like these movies do in Hollywood, like you did for Return of the King. Make sure the war is a very key part of the plot. I want like a 25 minute, even a 30 minute war. Anything over 30 minutes is too long, but have a good like 25-minute war. Because in the end, in the war, Tactius fights Eretat and for Fool. Tacitonius, I'm spoiling a bit of the book for you. Tacitonius fights Bo, the Pit Watcher, and Cassius fights Morale, the General. So yeah, I want later on in the war, towards the end of the war, all those three people fight. Those six people, seven people fight. So I'm saying, so you need to have good moments. I want good scenes with Tacitonius fighting Bo, Cassius fighting Morale, and Tactius fighting Eretat and Fool. So I'm saying, as well as you have the other Papyri and all of them are fighting all the other wolves. So you have a lot. You need to give them a lot of scenes in the war. That's why have a long war, a 25-minute war, even a 30-minute war. 30 minutes is enough. I'm not gonna have a 40-minute war. That's crazy. But if you read War and Becoming King, it's a long war. It's like 40 pages of just fighting. I write like 30 pages of just them. The majority of the book is just them fighting in the war. War and Becoming King, right? It's a long war. Hence why make sure you what? Make sure you uh make sure you what? You have a long war. That's why Xanax was the best story told was a bitch, man. Best story ever told. Because you have the big war in the end. You have a war in the prologue with Takis the First and Eretat, and then you have battle sequences. You have battle sequence with Tacitonius, Cassius, or 50 men for Fool and his 25 wolves. When they go and look for Tactius, obviously, that's almost I almost spoil so for you. It's not a war, but it's a battle sequence. It's a battle, right? A small little battle, and then you have you have the big battle. You have the big battle in the city. The city, you have a big battle sequence there too. That's kind of like a mini war because you have Tactius and all of them versus hundreds of bats. So you have a small little war in the city, and the big one is in the end of the movie, the end of the book, the final chapter is the big war. Tactius's army, Tactius Cassius' army versus Eretat, Fuful, and Morale's army. You have a 25,000 wolf army versus a 15,000 Zanian army. In the movie, I'll probably have to save money. I'll probably have 18, 19, 20,000 extras for the wolves to save money, and I'll have maybe I can have 12,000 humans because 12,000 is not that much, but 25,000 is a lot, man. It might affect my budget. I might cut it down to 20,000. People, yeah, we can cut it down. Yeah, cut it down to 20. In the movie, Eretat has a 20,000 army instead of a 25,000 army. We make a few changes here. That way we save money. We need to save as much money as we can. The actors are gonna cost me a lot of money, like $180 a day. That's a lot of money, man. Like the scene when the scene when we film the war, that's gonna be very pricey. That's gonna cost me like $15 million around there. It'll probably take a good week to film that war. Maybe a good week to maybe even 10 days to film the war, man. A good week to film the war, 10 days, 8 days to film that war. People will even be like, yeah, Ivan, this is gonna be pricey, Ivan. You know what I'm saying? Because you have the 12,000 human Zane army. The extras are all getting $180 a day. And you have the 20,000 wolf army. That's what? That's 32,000 people. And you also have the extras who are behind the wall, watching behind the wall. 15,000 extras, right? Yeah. It's going to cost me like 14. Yeah, it's gonna cost you millions. The extras are gonna cost. But I have, because I, yeah, if you have more than enough money, yeah, I have a big budget. Easy to afford it. It'll cost me probably 12, 13, even $14 million in costs for, I don't know, 8 days of shooting the war. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna cost me a lot of money. Obviously, the extras. Hence why you gotta have a big budget, like a big 33, $35 million budget. I'll put 35 million just in case. A big $35 million budget towards the extras, where you can pay all the guys. Those guys need to get paid, right? If you want those extras to work hard for you, pay them a nice $180. If you don't pay them, they're not going to work as hard for you. And if you don't pay the extras, you have to feed them. And I can't feed that many people. It's just too much people will stall production. They have to bring their own lunch. I can't even give them coffee. I can easily afford to give all of them coffee, obviously, and like drinks, but I can afford it, but it's gonna stall production because you're looking at a crazy line. I don't have time to be waiting for 3 hours just for everyone to get one coffee. No, you guys have to bring your own. The only way to make it work is when you go home, make yourself a nice lunch for yourself. Make yourself a nice lunch for yourself. Make yourself a nice lunch for yourself, and what? Make yourself a nice lunch for yourself. And what? Make yourself a nice lunch for yourself and bring your own flask. I recommend you guys buy a flask and pour a lot of coffee in there for your morning. Like, some of the actors might tell me, Ivan, you can easily afford to give us coffee. Yeah, I can afford to give you coffee. I can afford to at least give you coffee and all stuff. But like, you're looking at a long line. I don't have time to have people waiting in line, waiting in line. Even if there's 500 extras, it's too much people. 500 people is a lot of people, man. You're looking at a long line. I'm like, guys, if I give you guys coffee and all stuff, you guys are all going to wait in line for your coffee. And you're looking at a long line, like, I don't know, 40-minute line, a 40-minute, 1 hour line. I don't have time for that, man. You guys have to bring your own. People even tell me, Ivan, they ought to bring their own food. Yeah, you guys have to bring your own lunch. Pack yourself a nice breakfast, a nice lunch, a nice dinner for yourself. I'm more than happy to have you get a piece of the menu if there's leftovers left, but it's first comes, first serve. You know what I'm saying? It's first comes, first serve. If the food's done, it's done. You're gonna see all the extras running. They're all running. No, they're all running towards the what? the food section. Obviously, they're all running towards the food section because they all want a piece of that menu. Yeah, you're gonna see the extras staring. Hopefully, there's leftovers for us. And yeah, you can stare all you want. You're not getting squat off the menu, man. Because these actors are gonna see the kind of food everyone's eating. Obviously, me, the cast, and the crew are eating. They're all gonna, holy shit. I don't know. Imagine you're eating your lunch and you see like nice hamburger sliders. You see the nice crispy fries. You see the gravy. You see the sling crust pizza, the garlic sauce, the hot sauce. You see the ribs. You see the wings, barbecue ribs, barbecue wings, sweet and sour wings, boneless ribs. Right. You see all the salad bar, the veggie and salad bar. Right. Potato salad, macaroni salad, coleslaw. You know what I'm saying? You see the corn. You see the peas, the carrots, the cucumbers. You know what I'm saying? You see all that stuff. You see the options of fried rice. 3 options of fried rice and like 8 options of teriyaki meats. Pork, beef, you know what I'm saying? Chicken. You know, the actors are going to want a piece of that menu. Oh, I want a piece of that menu. They see all the milkshake, strawberry chocolate vanilla. They see all the soft drinks. Coke, 7-Up, Sprite, Orange Crush, Mountain Dew. You know what I'm saying? They see Pepsi. They see water, the orange juice. Oh man, I want a piece of that menu. Some of them might even ask me, Ivan, we get a piece of that, man. I'm like, no, guys, you're not getting a piece of the menu. If there's leftovers, so what I'm gonna do is once everyone's eaten at least 2 plates, 2.5 plates, I'm gonna tell I'm gonna tell someone on my team, look, man, yell out, hey guys, are you guys fed well? Are you full? There's leftovers left. Does anyone want it? Does anyone here want any more food? Are you full? No, I'm more full. Okay, the extras could now demolish the menu. Make sure you ask everyone to make sure, because there's some people who are slow eaters. They might have maybe only ate one and a half plate. No, I'm still hungry. Okay, okay. You're still hungry. You can have another. Make sure everyone is fed well first before you have the extras demolish the menu. Because you don't want the extras finishing all the food, and some people in the crewman only had one plate or a plate and a half, and they're still hungry. No, like they're the priority. You need to make sure they're fed well first. And once everyone's fed, chances are I'm going to be eating on average 3 plates on average, 2.5 to 3 plates. I'm going to eat on because I eat a lot. I'm going to be eating on average 2.5 to 3 plates, man, for breakfast, dinner, and dessert. I'm going to be eating 3 plates on average. 2.5 to usually 2.5 to 3 plates. I'll guarantee to be eating at least 2 plates. After 2 plates, usually I get pretty full, but I'll probably be eating a good 2.5 to 3 plates on average, because I eat a lot. The Hollywood actors are probably going to be eating on average 2.5 to 3 plates. They might have 2 plates, they're a little full, and they eat half a plate. They take half a plate. Most of the crewmen are probably going to eat on average 2.5 plates, man. And so the whole thing will get demolished. If you have 1,500 people eating 3 servings, that's what? That's 5,500 servings. 5,500 servings, man. You do the math. 5,500, right? 1,500 plus 1,500 is 3,500. Yeah. 5,000 servings, right? Yeah. 5,000. If people eat 3 meals a day, three servings per meal, that's 5,000 servings. If my math is right, right? Sorry, 4,500 servings. I'm really bad at math, guys. Yeah, 4,500 servings. That's 4,500 servings. But most people will not eat 3. Most people will probably eat 2.5 plates. Like after 2 plates, you'll be full. Guaranteed, you'll be full. We'll be full, obviously. Whenever I go to buffets, after I eat 2 plates, I'm full. And afterwards, I get like a small little like half a plate, and I'm full, man. Because buffets are meant to feed you well. Because the people, when they serve 2 plates, you're looking at like a lot of food. There's some people who are gonna serve like a lot of food. That they get like 6, 7. They get like 6, 7 wings. They get 2 ribs. They get their fried rice. And they get like 6, 7 teriyaki meats. And they have like 2 slices of pizza with that. And that's one meal. And then the next meal they get their like 3 burgers. And they get their poutine. And they get their wings with that. And after that they're full. They serve a big plate of they serve a big plate of fried rice, fried fries, a lot of poutine, and they have like 3, 4 sliders, and like 5 more wings with that. And after that, they're a bit full. And after that, they'll get maybe two slices, and then they get like their garlic sauce with that, and they're full after that. Chances are 2.5 plates. Most people will get full after 2.5 plates. That's why the whole thing will get demolished. And that's why what the food is not for the extras. It's only for the cast and crew. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna go upstairs and get my coffee. I'll be back in a sec. Don't hate me, son. Sorry about that. I went upstairs to get a car for myself. I'm back. I went upstairs to get a car for myself, guys. A fresh coffee I made for myself. And I'll watch this video, then when I come back, I'm going to binge Brad's 3.5 hour Dead Space game. And I'll watch John Campea later on tonight. Obviously. Yeah, that's why you got to be careful about the extras. Because the extras are going to want a piece of that menu. And Peter's like, Ivan, fuck the extras. We can't feed them, man. We can't feed. We don't have time we don't have time to wait for what? To wait for like what? We don't have time to wait for even if the only way I would ever feed the extras is if I only had like 20 extras in one scene, I can easily feed them, obviously. But chances are, on average, for all my scenes, you're looking at a couple hundred extras. You have the big gatherings where there's thousands of extras, and you have the other gatherings where there's only maybe a couple hundred extras. Even then, I still can't feed them because my crew and cast come first. And if there's leftovers, you're more than welcome to demolish the leftovers. But it's first comes, first serve. So I'm saying, hence why the scene where I filmed the end war, like that's gonna cost me millions, man. Like I don't know, 10, 11, 12, 13 million dollars in costs. Peter will even tell me, Ivan, this is gonna cost you millions, man. This is gonna cost us millions. Because I gave him a $35 million budget for extras, I gave him another budget. Ivan, you gave me another budget. We don't have to worry about running out of money, Ivan. You know what I'm saying? Paying what? Paying 45,000 extras for the war. All the extras for the war. The two groups for the war and the extras behind the wall. Easy afforded, Ivan. It'll only cost you maybe $13 million. We have such a big budget, we can easily afford it. Yeah, I gave him a big budget, obviously. Whereas in Hollywood, they can't afford that, man. In Hollywood, for extras, they have a couple hundred people, and that's it. For the war in Hornsburg, they only had like a couple hundred extras for that, man. And they applied this. Remember that Orc High army you saw in Two Towers? That's all CGI, man. They only had a couple hundred extras for that. Like maybe 100, like 200 extras. Because Hollywood's cheap. And they don't have the kind of budgets I have, the kind of budgets I have. You know, I mean, for Lord of the Rings, I had a shitty like 9 budget, Ivan. We only had a couple hundred extras for the war, and we had to rely on CGI effects. Whereas for your movie, we actually have like a huge gathering. You know, it's like you actually see like a 20,000 extras, 12,000 human army for the Zanes. Hence, you'll get a better war. You don't have to rely on. I'm like, look, man. I'm like, but even though we have a 20,000 wolf army and a 12,000 human army, obviously, you know, the war will look better. Will look much better. Obviously, I still want you guys applying the visual effects towards the human extras who are fighting. That way, you get a better war. I see what you're saying. Yeah, mix the practical with the visual effects. Mix both. That way, you get a better movie. I don't do it. Yeah, guys, I don't want you relying heavily on the practical effects for the war, for the thousands of extras, and I don't want you relying heavily on the visual effects. You need to mix both. Apply an equal amount of both. Okay, I see what you're saying, Ivan. That way you get an amazing war, but it doesn't look too computery. It looks more natural. Like the Two Towers War looked a lot more natural than the Hobbit War, and in Battle of Five Armies. It doesn't look too computery and cheesy, but it looks more natural. I know what I'm doing. Some Sarah. Yeah. You're gonna see how happy Peter is because I gave him all this budget. You know, Ivan, I'm having much more fun working on your movie than I did Lord of the Rings 30 years ago, Ivan. I'm having a much more fun experience working on your movie. You paid me way more money and you gave me my freedom. When in Hollywood, I had to do it, obviously. You have to do it to make that money. You think Peter made that $250 million for free? No, you have to pay a price for that, man. You have to do it. You have to smash a lot of people, man. Obviously. Yeah. And he had a shittier budget. They only gave him $4 million for Lord of the Rings. That's how much money I'm putting towards like my salaries for the actors. The actors are costing me like $80 million in cost for the salaries alone. That's what my company blows Hollywood out of the water. If your company blows Warner Bros. New Line out of the water, Ivan, so you gave me them the budget, man. Yeah, I don't have to worry about running out of money for the Wolves, for the action sequences, for the war. Unheard of buffet food. Like, Ivan, Hollywood didn't. New Line gave us shittier food, Ivan. Like meat, potatoes, pasta, and that kind of stuff, and orange juice. Whereas you're serving us a luxurious buffet, yeah. Like, Hollywood doesn't do this, man. They might do it sometimes, obviously. Like sometimes Hollywood probably orders pizza for the actors. They have many cheesy parties, obviously, but it's not the kind of food I'm serving them. I'm serving them a luxurious buffet. Luxurious buffet, yeah. Unlimited budget for extras. Yeah. Unlimited budget for the extras. Unlimited budget for the extras, yeah. So Peter Jackson wanted to pay him $85 million base and $450 million of the Sky Source film profits. Mel Gibson, I'll pay him $160 to $170 million in profits and a $56 million base for the 4 years of Xanus. That's my deal for Peter and Mel Gibson. And if Peter's greedy and he wants more money, I'm not paying more money. I'm like, Peter, I'm not gonna pay you an $800 million deal for the royalties. You're crazy. I'm not gonna pay you that. If I do, you're taking like more than 1% of the pie. You're taking all that money for yourself. I'm not going to do that for Xanus. You're already taking more than half of the 1%. You're taking out 0.7% of it, whatever it is, 0.8% of it, of that pie you're taking to yourself. That's enough. I'm not paying you any more money. You're just being greedy. You know what I'm saying? You want a bigger chunk of that pie. I'm not giving you any more money, man. You don't even make this in Hollywood. His agent's like, Ivan, it's a deal. Peter doesn't even make this in Hollywood. Yeah, Peter doesn't make $450 million of the royalties in Hollywood. No, he makes probably $100 million. He can negotiate for maybe $100 million of the royalties, with exception of Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, he negotiated for $250 million for the 3 movies. But on average, Peter can probably negotiate for maybe $100 million of the royalties in Hollywood. $60 to $100 million of the royalties around there, probably he negotiates for. Because the Hollywood movies are not making the kind of money my movies are making. That's why they can't afford to give Peter $400, $300 million. No, that's like all their profits gone. All their profits squandered, Samsara. Whereas I can easily afford to give Peter $400 million plus because my movies are going to gross billions, tens of billions. 50 billion, Xanus will do. You know what I'm saying? And if I make 20 billion bucks off the movie and merch, I can easily afford to give Peter what? I can easily afford to give Peter $400 million of the profits, obviously. Easy affordable. But I'm not going to give him $1 billion or $800 million. He's ripped me off. You don't want Peter ripping you off like that, Samsara. You get paid for what you're worth as well, man. I'm not going to pay you an $800 million deal. The moment I do that, Peter, you rip me off and you're being greedy, and I'm now overpaying you. You're getting greedy and I'm overpaying you. $450 million is a lot of money. That's more than how much all these big Hollywood actors are worth. Peter, you signed a massive deal. You're just greedy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a deal, Ivan. I don't even make this in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? This is a massive deal. This is the biggest contract ever for a director. Yeah. The deal that you're signing for my movie is the biggest contract ever for a director. A $500 million deal is a massive contract. See, Rian Johnson signed a $500 million deal for Netflix, obviously, but that's not all salary. A portion of that is his salary, and the rest of it is probably going towards funding the movie and all that stuff. Whereas Peter's $500 million deal is all salary. It's all money going to him. From there, I gave Peter a good deal, obviously. That's my deal for the Last of Us Xanus movie project, Peter. And you'll be my executive producer, you'll be my co-writer, and you'll be my, my director. You'll be my star director. You got featured on Yacht Shoots with me and the 7 team, obviously. You'll be featured on my Sky Source News magazine ads. It's something top notch. Yeah, you see a picture of Peter. He's featured with me. You know what I'm saying? They interview him. They're gonna interview him the first year, and he talks about the movie project. It looks like amazing. Yeah, my Sky Source News and magazine ads. Yeah, it's some top notch. Look at Peter. Peter's boss. You know, he's featured with Ivan, you know what I'm saying? And what? You have the Sky Source News. And you read the Sky Source News on my website. It's a top-notch website, obviously. And Peter gets interviewed. Yeah, teleconference, he gets interviewed. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations, Peter. You're the director for this movie. Yes, I am. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or Mel Gibson. You see Mel Gibson featured with me. You see the news, the Sky Source News. Yeah. Whoever I hire, right? Yeah. You see me featured with VJ. My stupid annoying white VJ, obviously. You see me featured with Peter Jackson. I'm gonna look, guys. When you take pictures for the magazine, when you take pictures, obviously, you take one group picture with me, VJ, and Peter and my 17, and Guillermo Toro, Fran, and then you do individual pictures or like smaller group pictures. You can have Guillermo Toro, Barry Osborne, Fran, and Peter featured on one picture, and it's just me and VJ in one picture, and you have all these magazine ad pictures featured. When Peter gets interviewed, you have a magazine ad picture of him and maybe his wife, Guillermo Toro, and they interview Peter and they interview Guillermo del Toro, and it gets featured in my Sky Source News. So my Sky Source News, you're gonna get news. All the news will be featured there, will be written down and featured there, and the interviews, the personal interviews with me, VJ, my 7 team, Peter Jackson, Fran, Guillermo del Toro, Barry Osmond. I want you interviewing all those guys. Um, all those guys, obviously. You know what I'm saying? The web designer, you got to put your web design to work. Find a way to put your web design to work, man. I don't pay you a lot of money for nothing. I'm gonna put you to fucking work. Obviously. You know what I'm saying? The photographers I could interview if you want. I'm not gonna interview the photographers. I might perhaps interview maybe the photographers. I might perhaps interview the graphic designers. The concept artists, I could interview those guys. That way it's more interesting. I can interview the concept artists. They talk about drawing error tab, but I'm probably not. Just interview those main people. 17, me and my wife, Peter, Demol, Toro, Fran, and Barry Osmond. Just interview those guys. And everyone else you don't have to interview. And then second year, when you fly in the stars will get interviewed too. The major ones, just the major like 13 stars, you interview those guys. All the stars I'm flying in the first day, you know what I'm saying? And you interview all those guys. The actors will come in, they'll do their professional ad shoots with me and my wife. And then I'm gonna hire a team to interview them, and the interview gets featured on the Sky Source News. On the Sky Source News. The Sky Source News. It gets featured on the Sky Source News, the interview. You get to read it on my Sky Source News, like a teleconference. And then it gets featured in the Sky Source News. So you not only have the documentary, the behind the scenes, you also have the interviews that are going to be featured on my Sky Source News website. Something cool like that, yeah. Sky Source News website, they interview it. They interview them and then they record it, and then my web designer has to write down everything they said on my website, and then you have the interview, teleconference interview, something cool like that with the actors, and you see the magazine ad picture feature. You see me, VJ feature with all the actors. We look like badass. Holy shit, Ivy's actors are badass movie stars. You see me, Peter, featured with the actors the second year, and they interview the actors. I want you interviewing Peter the second. Once Peter's met the stars, I want you interviewing him too, second year too. Again, an amazing website I'm gonna have, man. You know how you have Variety and Hollywood Reporter? They have those interviews, and it looks professional. And you have the magazine that picture on the side. Yeah, I think something like that for my Sky Source News website. Something top notch. All the interviews are featured there. This is top notch. Yeah, that's why Peter will have a blast, man. You know, Ivan, your company's so top notch, man. I had a fun time being featured on your interviews, on your Sky Source News, your magazine ads. I had a fun time doing your commercials, Ivan. I'm saying, yeah, you had a blast, obviously. This is your company's better than Hollywood, Ivan. Yeah, I know it is, but you're not good for the Great Escape. It's not fair to Keanu Reeves and all them. You're not good for the Great Escape, Peter. And all you Hollywood actors with names, you know who you are. You can beg all you want. I'm not signing you for the Great Escape, you know what I'm saying, or the Matrix. Because I might do the Matrix, but I highly doubt. I'm most likely to do the Great Escape. Idris Elba might tell me, Ivan, can I be in that secret agent movie, Ivan? I'm like, no, Idris Elba, you're not. Ivan, please, man. I don't want to go back to Hollywood, man. Your copy's so much better than Hollywood, Ivan. Hollywood's fucking cheap. They're not going to pay me this kind of money, Ivan. They're gonna pay me my $5-6 million and that's it, man. You know what I'm saying? I have to fucking do it. It's dirty as fuck over there, Ivan. Your company's so much better than how I know it is, but you're not good for the Gray Escape. You know what I'm saying? You were good for what? For Zayn's, you're not. Idris Elba is actually really good for the Gray Escape, but I'm not gonna re-sign him. If I re-sign him, it's gonna create a shockwave in the Hollywood industry, and a lot of Hollywood celebrities are gonna be very, very ticked off. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You're resigning Idris Elba, and we're all busting our asses here. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get into Ivan V's movie, and you're resigning this guy after you already saved him for Zaynus. It's not fair. Yeah, the agents are gonna be ticked off. It's not fair to the Hollywood actors and their agents if I resign Idris Elba. Ivan, fuck those actors. Just resign me, man. I'm like, Idris Elba, no, I'm not gonna resign you. You have to think about others. Ivan, I don't care about the Hollywood actors. Just fucking resign me, Ivan. You signed me for that Great Escape story, Ivan. I'm like, no, you're not good for the Great Escape. I know you want to be in the Great Escape battle, you want to be in that secret agent movie, but you're not good for that. So I'm saying, shut my camera.